We have all these security controls that we've been given by whatever framework, and they're just thrown on the table. And they're like puzzle pieces, right? We have to put them together in a way that makes sense for the business. How to become a star performer in GRC and cyber. Broaden your knowledge and experience. Over my career, I've done some project management. I've done IT work. I'm still doing IT work. A small business, you wear a lot of hats. I've done some cybersecurity work. I've never done penetration testing, but I understand it, right? I went through some certifications there and kind of saw how that works. I'd love to delve more into it, but your time is limited with all, how life is. But you have to understand multiple facets, really, to be successful in GRC, in cyber, being able to understand the technical, being able to understand the policy side, the process side. Because if we think about it, GRC folks, we're writing policies for all kinds of people in the business, all kinds of competencies, developers, program managers, finance people, the people who get us paid, we have a huge impact on the organization. And so if we're writing policies, but we don't really understand what their job is and what is involved, you don't have to know all the details, but you do have to understand what it means to write code, what it means to have a development environment, because that's a whole nother realm in itself. It may be getting your hands dirty a little bit. You don't have to know how to code, but maybe you could learn what it takes to set up a development environment, sit down with someone, have them show you what it looks like, and then think about your security requirements and how you can, like Mike said, enable the business to move forward. When you have all of this knowledge and experience, it really helps you put puzzle pieces together, because a lot of this, when it comes down to it, we have all these security controls that we've been given by whatever framework, and they're just thrown on the table, and they're like puzzle pieces, right? So we have to implement them. We have to put them together in a way that makes sense for the business and that enables the business. Tips and tricks to advance your career, going back to communication skills, but a little bit of a different angle. Look at these 3 points here: inform, convince, and inspire. So I feel like I'm pretty good at informing, depending on who it is, might be okay at convincing, but can I inspire? That's a whole nother skill set in itself. The informing piece is so critical, right? You've got to be able to communicate to all kinds of different audiences. And then maybe you have to convince them to do a certain thing, because a lot of our job is not to say, yes, we have to do it this way. There's no other way to do it. We have to inform and we have to tell them of the risks. But sometimes there's those moments where you think something is so critical, so important, that you're going to have to convince, and you're going to have to say, boss, we've got to go this way because it's going to kick us so hard a year later because of this and that regulation coming down the road, or that privacy law Mike mentioned, all these things. But then on the other side of it, we also need to be able to inspire. You've seen the memes of the people taking their cybersecurity training, and it's just, they're going through the slides so fast. How can you keep attention? How can you actually inspire, So those 3 things are something you can continually work on, continue to get better at.
How to become a star performer in GRC and cyber. And I know I keep hitting on this, but there's one thing that you take out of this, it's relationships. Build those relationships. Reliability. Be that person that when there's a disaster and everyone is running around in panic, be the person that's calm. We've been through this before. We've got policies for this. We have procedures for this. We've done tabletop exercises. Be the person that's calm, that can lead everybody else through, right? So be reliable, be consistent. If you are assigned to projects, get them done, right? Make sure that you are being responsible, communicative, all of those things. So, for me, it comes down to relationships, reliability, and consistency. Tips and tricks to advance, always learning something new. This is when I talk about diving into a lot of different things. If you're a developer and you want to move to a GRC role, or you want to help your company scale in GRC, you're going to have to learn some other things. So that's very important to always keep learning. Always networking. And I don't mean the 3-way handshake, TCP/IP kind. I mean the shaking hands virtually and physically, getting to know people and building those relationships, right?
Resources for upskilling. Of course, I have my podcast, was able to interview some cybersecurity whistleblowers from Georgia Tech University. They basically alleged a university falsified their cybersecurity compliance to the government. Then, of course, Zero Trust with John Kindervog, another really fascinating one with Dr. Ron Ross from NIST, talking about NIST cybersecurity history. And then something that's kind of neat and is coming to the United States and many other countries is digital identity wallets. It's kind of fascinating because eventually our DMVs, our ID license centers, they'll be issuing digital identities. And then, of course, on the GRC Academy side, also I have courses focused on foundational learning of CMMC and then GDPR as well through PCB and some ISO courses also. So yeah, check it out if you'd like to.
So some resources that I have, I do one-on-one mentoring where for me, it's about building those relationships. I'm a huge advocate for teaching people how to build their brand so that they gain visibility, so that they, from that, gain opportunity, right? It's like I always say, your network is your net worth. And I truly believe in that. And you can have the nicest resume in the world, but if you don't have any visibility, no one's ever going to ask you for that resume. So it's like trying to sell a car, but your car's on the back of the lot. No one's ever going to kick the tires and ask to take that car for a test drive. So I do one-on-one mentoring, and then I also have a group as well. It's called Harmony Growth Lab, HGL, if you want to check that out. We do workshops every week. We do Friday check-in calls. It's a good group of great professionals from some smaller and some mega companies in there as well. It's a group that I founded with a partner of mine, Koskins. So check that out if you would like.
Hey, folks, hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe and then check out this video.